Hey, let's read something new. I was talking to a professional who likes psychology, and I didn't study psychology, but I studied worker tactics on it. So we were talking this, that, and she's like, blah, 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 cults. And I was like, okay, cults. And I was like, I don't know anything about cults. Let's read about cults. Okay. A cult is an organized group whose purpose is to dominate cult members through psychological manipulation and pressure strategies. Cults are usually headed by a powerful leader who isolates members from the rest of society. Some individuals who join cults remain lifelong members. Others break free and share how it felt to be brainwashed by charismatic leaders. But there are also some individuals who leave a cult and report that their experience was positive. Studying cults is difficult for a few different reasons. It's nearly impossible to study active cult members due to their unwillingness to let others inside their closed societies. Well, this is how I fucked around and found out, right? Okay. I got lured into an interview that I wasn't interested in. But, like, somebody told me you need to go because if you want to be in this industry, you need to show that you're interested in anything, even if you're not, and or whatever. And I was like, okay, Jesus. So I show up, and there's three guys, and Joker guy, I call him Magic Man now because it's more neutral and appropriate. So Magic Man's there, but he's sitting over there out of my peripheral vision, and he's like this, just watching me. And I was like, oh man, that guy's here. Way to conduct a great interview panel. And then this really important guy's in front of me, and he's just looking at me like, oh great. And I'm like, oh great, you know. Like, everybody, it was some real bad vibes in there, and I was like, God, why am I here? And then I was just like, yo, I'm this person. I like analyze data from reports, and I can summarize like boom boom boom, and I'm real good at it. And I was like, in fact, I actually can motivate my salesmen real easy by influencing the patterns of behavior by strategically merchandising things around them, so it's just easier to grab. And then when they do that, I kind of reward them by giving them add-on sales, and it just is kind of like crazy how contagious and out of control it gets, you know what I mean? Easy, no brainer. Okay. What's your name? And I'm like, blah blah blah. And he's like, where have you been hiding this girl? And I was like, man, these guys sure didn't know how to make a girl feel like it, you know? And I was just like, wow. And they discuss, and then I'm like, I really love collection processing now. And I was like, I love Kiro Relic firearms, and like that's a subject I need to always like be less intense with, because I'm way too into it. And something about that information I said was enough for them to be like, we have an opportunity for you. Instead, we haven't really discussed this, but I think you'd be more interested in this role, and you would be like partaking across state lines, interstate transfer routes. Your husband can man it as well. And I was like, I really don't like the tone that guy just used, and the description, and this sounds like they think I'm a moron because I know people as it culture, and yo, sounds like these guys want me to be a whore on tour or something, you know? And I had such a wrong mentality, because I was like, the audacity these guys are so clueless. Like, thank God I know what's up. And I'd like them to fucking try. And so began the reason why I get an involuntary response like 3 years later if I get too darn excited. Okay, my involuntary response was a result of when I finally got out of that fight that I chose to be in, and really just should have fucking left that whole wave of people. Just been like, oh, thank you for the opportunity, sir. Goodbye. Like, you know, instead I was like, oh, Mr. Important Man, how dare you not treat me as industry potential. It was bad. This is a very important subject that many should not be unaware of. It's very important to know these things because they can happen anywhere. And I'm sure they do. I'm sure they're in every industry. So it's very valuable that you're taking time, and we appreciate it, to view this short video. It was the result of me thinking I knew enough about psychology and psychological attacks to not do any homework in the most important battle of my life that my husband got roped into, that a lot of people got roped into. It was insane. And the most important thing is, I'd really like to spread awareness about this, is there's something called, hold on, demoralization. It is a fascinating phenomenon because it, through history, has been used by like mobsters and societies to make people slaves. It is so powerful. It is unreal. It's like magic. It is insane. How does it work? Okay, Mr. It here. Hey, what's up? Like, like, you know, and he's like, what the fuck, I'm a he. My name is James. And just by me oppressing him in this simple way, like, where it's like, kind of like, you suck, it's already demoralizing him. He's ruining his morale, his energy. Okay, it's not right. Not only that, but I'm getting demoralized as well. So, Mr. James is feeling a little insulted, but above the influence, and being like, you know, I'm just gonna walk away from this bitch. But me, I'm feeling a little excited, a little ballsy, a little strong. And that is insane, right? Both people are gaining its effect. But that's not all. Anybody around who sees it, whether they're involved or not, even if they hear it, even if they just see it and don't hear it, they're gonna get a little bit of it too. The whole environment is influenced by it, okay? I knew about demoralization. However, I didn't just take a psychology class. Everyone should, okay? Instead, I went anthropologist mode, and when the introduction of my experience of, okay, this is Breaking a Bitch 101, and apparently 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, 4 men are standing in front of me. My name is Problem. Okay, this is looking like it might be a mistake. I need to reconsider, but I'm already here, so fuck, I guess. And I was like, because these guys are victims too. Like, I already know who's responsible. It's fucking Magic Man and his homies. They're probably watching me, I guess. So, what do? I'm gonna observe. Because when you're hold on. When you're under that kind of attack, you need to conserve. And any effort you put into changing location or a response or even a thought of saying, did that just happen? Or why would they do this to me? You are eating away at your morale, your energy, your confidence, of like so everything. And that's why mental abuse is unacceptable. Like, some people are like, oh man, did he hit you? Well, at least he didn't hit you. And it's like, no. I'm glad you're so naive to make that careless, like, comment, sir. You know, because if someone dare attack your mind, that person is insane. Nobody should do that to anybody. Because when you attack someone's mind, it hits, dude. You can be like, I'm ready. Your mind is so susceptible. It is truly unfair. And when psychological warfare is used in history, or I guess business apparently, families, whatever, it's so easy. And it can be everywhere, okay? A different time when I was under a calculated psychological attack, I was like, man, I'm feeling some real oppressive vibes and I feel like shit. Wouldn't it be weird if I was actually under like psychological warfare or something? And I was like, maybe I should just look around. And then I was like, maybe I should take a picture of this room. Just for shits and giggles. And then the next time I did it, which was a few days later, the whole room was moving around me subtly. And I was like, holy shit. Because I love psychological warfare. And so I was like, oh my god, it's happening to me right now. I'm a victim right now. Holy shit. I'm about to be fucked if I don't fight back. What do I do? That time was good. But the time where I learned it is part of my life now, because I want to be an advocate for industry potential someday. I can't do that if I manage like 3 years down the road, I get pissed off and then I'm like, oh, my brain's gone, just like that time I fucked around and found out with Magic Man. LOL. Really should have minded my own business. You know what sucked is Magic Man had a mental illness, but more importantly, he was a gun owner. Not just a gun owner. He had confidence because he was a salesman. What does that mean? Magic Man can convince you of things. He has hard pitches, okay? He was in a position of power in the industry. And for some reason, when people meet people like that, they're just like, hi, I would be willing to be oppressed by you, to be remembered by you. That is terrible. Foolish. I don't know how long or how or why. I don't know if it's a cult, but Magic Man is the shit for some reason. I don't want to know. If he wants to come read a book, I'll make him some tea, but none of that it shit, no oppressive energy, because this is America, you know what I'm saying? And we are gun owners. But I'm gonna educate people on, this stuff. So even if you're just with a bunch of gun owners, and maybe they're collectors, what does that mean? They are very smart and probably a little quiet because they're a little humble. They're just waiting for their opportunity to be like, yes, I specialize in, and they're like, oh god, this guy's weird, Those are collectors. 3 gunners. They got it in them to do it and a win, right? Salesman, hard pitches, convincing, persuasive. you never know if you're gonna be a target. Like maybe you're in a bad city and you're like me and you think you're tough because you managed to escape the ghetto once. But I truly summoned the ether of evil, and it like I was like, oh shit. Like it just like the presence presented itself in uniform, and like I was like looking in their eyes, and I was like, okay, yeah, they don't want to do this, but it's gonna get weird fast because demoralization. And then they started to smile, and then they started to nudge each other, and then they started to get that like turned on face, and I was like, they are heavily demoralized. Somebody's like, oh, like, this isn't my first rodeo, and I was like, y'all are lucky that you guys don't understand that the real victim is our precious FFL retards. This is business hours. Oh my god. And I was very patient because I was disassociating like a boss, and it freaked people out because they were like, wow, she's so brave. And then more people came, and I kept working the FFL, and then more people came, and I was like, okay, I'm fucked right now. And I approached a woman, and she's like, why would I help you? And I looked in her eyes, and she had the 1,000-yard stare, and I was like, oh no, like, I'm totally fucked already. And yeah, yikes. It was really legendary. It was legendary. You know, lordy. I still worry about those people, you know, but, you know, things happen. People make decisions. I was not afraid until I was like, well, my time here is done. I did not convince one of these people to fight for each other. I have failed on a grand scale, but at least I'm alive and walking away from Magic Man's insane intimidation right now. And that cute girl that I was about to protect is apparently cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and yikers. Maybe I should drive fast. And I was like, but you know what? I'm going to really leave my mark here by calling every single person on this listing. And then I was like, hey, just so you know. And then they started like laughing sometimes. And I was like, oh shit. And I was like, I was like friends with some bad hombres, I guess. Like, but I was just like the pretty girl that went to the dinners and like processed the guns and like, oh, we have the best job in the world. Like, go team. And apparently, you know what that's useful for? I was just a useful idiot. Front house. So if anybody's like, hi, young girl serving me, how is your company? And I'm like, I love it here. We are so happy. And I even get to eat the nice dinners at the table. The trade shows. I love the trade shows. It changed my family's life forever. My husband and I are just tacticians under the same roof with children because these people really didn't like that. We weren't scared. Huh. Okay, well, yeah. Okay, bye. Oh, they showed up recently, so I'm like, all right, I remember. I can spit, I guess. Okay, there's a competitor out there. They exist, and they may see you as too risky of competition. This is going to be pretty raw, because I like pretending that I never even saw them. They kind of suck. Anyways. I'm sorry. Long story short, I made the grave mistake of calling a man silly, and damn, I done goofed.
for 6 months. And then after that, my veteran husband got targeted, and Jesus Christ, and look, oh my God, dude. And then they started attacking their own, and then just, anyways, like, listen, okay. It was not funny when I had to endure day one alongside the 4 gentlemen in front of me who thought that I was a victim, and I had to just watch them be scared and cry and blah blah blah, and I knew, damn man, and I knew that it was just a mind game, you know. I can laugh, but those guys, some of them are still there. Damn.